The answer to the broken record syndrome. Looking into the mirror of your own self-reflection and forgive. It was Thomas Merton who said, "The beginning of love is to let those we love be perfectly themselves, and not to twist them to fit our own image. Otherwise, we love only the reflection of ourselves we find in them." I grew up with a father who was a Great Depression-era baby, raised himself without a father. He would mercilessly beat me, often drawing blood, stating in his intolerant, booming voice, "Son, do as I say and not as I do. You will never amount to anything. If you don't do as I say, you'll end up in prison before you're 19. My dad became an alcoholic sometime between the age of 12 and 15, a womanizer, a petty tyrant to his spouses and children, and incapable of ever looking into your eyes and saying, "Son, I love you." As much as I despised imitating both my mom and dad's lives and beliefs, I loved them both for the good-hearted and loving individuals they could, at unexpected moments, be toward me. I loved my dad, the person who could at times, and in his own strangely indifferent ways, be enjoyable to be around, until he inevitably got inebriated. I loved my mom, who was as much of a broken record as my dad, never able to move beyond an ugly and mean divorce from my dad, and yet, strangely enough, could never stop seeing him as the only man she would ever truly love, undoing the psychological damage. After leaving my dad's house, it took me another 12 years of my life to undo the psychological damage he did to me as a child, and in spite of the fact that I acquired the Urantia Book less than 2 years after permanently leaving both family and state. Influence of reading the Urantia Book. Were it not for reading the Urantia Book, I look back and entertain doubts that I would have ever undone the psychological damage and would have ended my life long ago. Reading the Urantia Book helped me to rewire my brain, introduced me to my thought adjuster, and led me into the dark night of the soul, wherein I eventually reached a place of self-forgiveness, forgiving both my dad and mom, seeing them and loving them as imperfect human beings, children of our Father, just like me. The Urantia Book also helped me to clarify my individuality, as well as my spiritual unity, in brotherhood, sisterhood, and friendship with all other individuals of our Father's children, in the mirror of our own self-reflections. I learned to let my dad and mom live perfectly as themselves in all of their imperfections, and I am still learning to do the same, first with myself and also with everyone else with whom I have the opportunity to interact and communicate. When your dad and mom speak to you, they are not speaking to you, their daughter or son, but to the reflection of themselves they see in you. Your challenge is to become wholly aware that you are doing the same. You feel most comfortable and loved when you see in others a reflection of the self you idealize and which you desire to be. When you feel most unloved. You feel the most unloved and psychologically perturbed, disturbed, when you victimize yourself in the reflection you presently see of yourself in the mirror of your own mind. When others don't approve of you, don't accept you, and love you unconditionally just as you are. This, however, is not the truth, beauty, and goodness of love, but its shadow, a reflection of true love, which may only spring forth from openly communicating with the indwelling thought adjuster, which is the very presence and direct line of communication with our Father on paradise. Love eternal springs forth from within. The more you open up and love our Father, giving back to Him all that you have been given from Him, truly knowing Him as a real person, and in the choosing to align your will with His will, the more you will begin to know love eternal, which springs forth from deep within. This love eternal cannot be contained, but must express itself in the turning of the focus upon self to the outward focus of unselfish and loving service to our fellow brothers and sisters, our friends in the spiritual family of the faith-knowing sons and daughters of our Paradise Father. And the more we bestow unconditional love upon our fellow children of our Father, the more we come to know the truest and purest love there is, the love of our Father to each and every one of us, as though we were His only child in the whole of the universe of universes.